Hello. I'm not. Sorry, John. I wasn't talking. How's the audio now? Right, before I start carving, I've got to sharpen the knife. Low volume, yeah, it will be for a second. I'll just setting everything up, and I'll clip it onto me. What, that's loud enough, Lucy, or is it if I clip it onto myself? How's that? Is that loud? Is that too loud? Not loud enough? I think the aspect ratio of the video is slightly, yeah, it's a bit long. Using earbuds, cool. How are we all then? I do apologise for it being such a long time since the last stream, but I had just an insane amount of work to get done, ready in time for the holidays and stuff, and ordered all the new gear, new camera, capture card, hopefully a better mic. But how's everyone been the last couple of months? Everyone staying safe and healthy, hopefully. So here, just doing this, the back of this blade here. So you do go flat on the stone. If I zoom in slightly. So you go flat on the back of the stone, and you can see the slight hollow grind there, and then lift it up, lift the blade up maybe a couple of degrees, and just put a very slight bevel on the back, just to sort of take that burr off the back of there. And then it's just a case of finishing the blade. It's a bit dark. front side of the blade first. This is fairly easy, you just follow in the bevel that you have on the front side, keeping the pressure down. And then the back side of the blade is just the flat part. You don't need to be doing anything with the bevel, with tilting the blade up or anything. And that is good to go. So today we're going to be starting work on a new block, and it is this image. What is wrong with my... Let me try and fix this. The image is skewed slightly. Maybe it's the... see what we can't do about that. Maybe set up. Just Googling it. Okay, we'll work with it as we go. Okay, so first job is to peel back the gampy tissue. And this is just done with a slightly dampened finger, and the fibres peel back rather easily. You don't want too much pressure because you can quite easily peel back that final layer that's got the actual image on. And we don't want that. So let's start in this area in the boat. And just to give us a little bit extra help, just dab a little bit of camellia oil on. Audio still good? Yeah. Okay. Do we want zoomed in more? Like max zoom? So we can see all the cuts? Or we want to come out a little bit wider? So this block's fairly straightforward. There's nothing too scary. It's just making the lines nice and clean, rounded where they need to be rounded. This print is by Hasui, who's done in the 1930s, and it's of a small boat at Askashi Bay. This is a little reproduction print that me and Jed have collaborated on. The original, it was a very small, very quickly made postcard print. So it's quite, I don't want to say sloppily made, but they made it very fast. So the colours are rather simple. There are some carving errors, etc. So we've sort of gone in and added a few more blocks, created a little bit more depth in the colour, added a few more gradations and stuff, and we're going to turn it into a nice little print. Once the stream's over, I'll be posting it on my Instagram. But what's cool about these old FrancisHanga prints was quite often they would do a day and evening version of them. So we're going to follow that same method, and we're doing sort of, I would say, a late morning version with nice bright blues, nice sort of blue-green colours in the waves in the bottom, and then the evening version, or the sunset version, will have nice deep pinks and yellows and purples up in the sky. And both will be available, so you can pick your favourite, or pick both, or pick none at all. But there should be the carving work on this should be a reasonably quick job. Should only take me a couple of days to get the carving work done. And I'm preparing the colour blocks at the moment. I've been wet sanding them this morning. So they'll be ready in a couple of days. But if anyone has specific questions, technical questions, or more questions about the background of the design or something, do ask in chat. hard to keep in frame. It's reversed for me on the laptop screen. But the most important thing when carving these sort of more simplified lines, because a lot of these prints were made from a watercolour sketch. They weren't made from like a traditional Japanese brush painting. So you have a lot more roundness in the lines. So I start, so first of all the blocks are planed once we've, my dad planes the blocks up with a scraper plane. And the wet sanding process, and I start at, I think, 480 grit, and I move all the way up to, I think, 2,500 or 3,000 maybe. Just move through the grades, not sort of every single grade in between, but so it's fairly fine. We found if we went to 5,000 on one of our first ones we made, and it was rather hard to actually print. We almost made the surface too polished and shiny. I don't know whether that was because maybe I didn't clear out, make sure I washed the residue off enough, but I finished on, I think, 3,000 last time, and that's what the alien print and the cat and the dog one, almost all of the prints that I made last year were made on those blocks. Hello, R. Reynolds. I'm glad you're able to join. I'm glad you're here. Hi, George. Good to see you again. Glad to be back also. And what's quite cool about these old FrancisHanga prints as well is, maybe not with something like this, but oftentimes blocks would have been made with a metal key block. This one wouldn't have, but they very rarely used a black key block for their designs. It was generally browns and maybe blues like indigo and such would have been used for the key blocks, which sort of gives the key blocks this nice subtlety that maybe some ukiyo-e prints don't have, because you're just filling in line and colour you're filling in black lines with bold flat colour generally. Yes, this is Dave's Gampi. The paper supplier that I used in the UK back in our first sort of lockdown at the start of the year, around April time, they ended up cutting a load of stock that they sort of deemed unnecessary or that they didn't sell a lot of, and unfortunately my supply of Gampi was deemed just that. So I managed to get enough from Dave for the year, and I haven't quite got the peel down like Dave does, but but it's nice. It's good. I went for the thinner type because I'm used to the type that I was using previously is also quite thin. I keep moving out of shot. I'm going to drop back just a little bit. Yeah, the type of Gampi I was using before was really thin. So I got his. I think it's, what was it, the 3. I can never pronounce the word momme. And it served me well for the year. Holds well on the block. Prints well coming out of the laser printer. What weight did you end up getting, George? I'm going to do a whole stream once I finish this. I'm going to do a whole stream on the colour separations and stuff. Sort of go through how I know a lot of people have seen Dave doing it before and stuff, but how I stick the Gampi down to the block. Harrison, I don't have any recommendations in the UK, sadly. However, I will post a link in chat now to a company named Mokahankan, owned by David Ball, and they stock. I'll just post the one to the thinner type that I'm currently using. There we go, that's the link. Hi Ben, how have you been? Yes, yeah. So this is the 3, and this has been printed out of the inkjet printer. So that's what it looks like. I've been using a very slightly thinner, because it's thicker than the previous Gampi that I'd used. I've been using a very slightly lighter weight copy paper to put through the with the lamination, but I can't see that a normal type of copy paper would make a lot of difference, to be honest. So he should be enthusiastic. He is very good. They have a very good product. Just like that. Yeah, well, Dave's really the man. Dave's probably the reason why. Dave is the reason why I'm making prints now. He's been very generous with his time with me, allowed me to go over a couple of times and learn from his printers, and he's always very courteous in answering my questions and stuff by email. And I work quite often with his business partner Jed. Well, me and Jed I exclusively work with Jed on my prints outside of the Patreon prints that I make. But you won't find a better authority on woodblock prints than Dave. Wait on delivery. Yeah, McLean's as well. Yeah, I just order from Japan quite regularly. So, but I have ordered from McLean's before. Their shipping is pretty good to the UK. Customer service and stuff's pretty good. Also, as well, for very, I'm not 100% sure on their Gampi that they sell, but a lot of other different types of washi is Hasui washi. They have a Rakuten store, and that's actually the middleman that we're buying our Hosho from at the moment. I was scheduled to go out and meet with Iwano-san. I'd sort of organised that roughly back towards the start of the year before we knew what was coming, and gonna sort of meet with him and discuss our paper needs over the coming years and stuff, and see if he could provide us with that. But the situation that was 2020 and now 2021 sort of put a stop to that rather fast. Yeah, that's correct, John. I'm not sure if they do the same sort of thing with the Gampi. If you're unsure about shipping to the US, I would just drop them an email, and Cameron, I'm sure, would answer any queries that you've got, or maybe hop into Dave's stream this evening and ask. I'm in the UK, so I don't quite know what other arrangements they have outside of prints. I'm not sure if Jed's planning on stocking any of the Gampi or anything like that. Ben, am I correct in saying you have some of your prints on Instagram? If so, you should post in the chat and so everyone can see your prints. Yeah, so if that's Prince George, that's most likely coming from Jed's acting as a sort of intermediary shipping centre. So I don't know if they're. I don't know the situation in Japan at the moment as to whether Dave's back shipping or whether it's all solely just coming from Jed. But I've had to quite drastically change how I ship as well. I sort of don't. Brilliant, thanks for that, Ben. I'd really like if we can all maybe I'll set up a if everyone's on Facebook, maybe I'll set up a Facebook group where we can yeah, Instagram's really. I always thought sort of, oh, maybe I'm the only guy around here doing this. And then sort of the more you dig deep into Instagram and stuff, the more you find there's actually a really strong community of Western printers that are making Japanese prints. It really is great. Everyone's so nice and friendly. But as I was saying, would people? I know there's the Acolytes of the Baron page that's been set up on Dave's stream. But would anyone like to join a Facebook group? Should I create one where we can sort of share our work and sort of tips and tricks and things like that? I've been trying to think of a way to sort of build a community page for that type of thing. And I've sort of played with Discord and stuff like that, but I feel maybe just Facebook is probably a bit more accessible. Everyone has a Facebook account. Excuse me. Yeah, it's easy to just post and send, and maybe that would be a good place that I could sort of do some Q&A type things, maybe where it's sort of me to camera. Yeah, I haven't had a Facebook account for, I don't know, maybe 5 years or so, but for the purpose of sort of all connecting together into one place where we can sort of speak regularly and organise things, it'd be great to sort of revive some type of print exchange. If there's a few of us all making prints, we should sort of try and do something like that where we can maybe put a subject matter together, and whether it's reproductions or original work and stuff, and set up some sort of print exchange. Yeah, I've been. That's one thing, and Patreon, as good as Patreon is, it's quite hard. There's not really a huge amount of tools in which I can sort of group everyone together and we can all share things. It's generally me sort of sharing stuff to you, and that's not really my aim for this. My aim is for everyone to be able to sort of talk with each other, even if I'm not around, to be able to share things and get to know each other and get to know each other's work and things like that. Yeah, Slack could be an idea. My first thought was Facebook because it's just a platform that everyone seems to have quite good access to. So I don't know. Wide shot, yes. So if I sort of start in here. So we've got the two little men on the boat with their reflection set out in the water. And then up in here, if I sort of bring it back in, you can see the sails and stuff, and the yeah, Discord. I have got a Discord. I am part of some servers. How would everyone feel about that? Because with Discord, for those who don't know, you can create multiple different channels. So we can have a channel for like Q&A, or a channel for sharing photos of work, a print exchange channel, things like that. So it could be, yeah, I'll look into it. I'll sort of weigh up the options and maybe sort of take a bit of a consensus poll over the next couple of days and then look into doing it. Because that would be really good. And I sort of stealing all Dave's old ideas, really. He used to have a group called the Baron Forum. I'm not sure if it's still being run by other people. And that was set up for sort of similar purposes. And this is sort of early website days, and the early days of the internet and stuff. And they created, really, from what I understand, quite a thriving group of people, and they ended up meeting up and doing workshops and exchanges and things like that. Cool. Well, Harrison, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm not going to plug myself, but just as a way of me sort of grouping everyone together, so I can. That's the main platform that I currently use for social media, so I can make posts and stuff, and sort of I can gauge the feedback there as to what people would have a preference for, and then I can sort of move on from that point. And ideally, just sort of let the group sort of run itself, and sort of all get to know each other. Because that really is the goal of this. And if I can be sort of honest, the sort of idea of doing a Patreon was less geared towards a monetary goal in terms of earning money, as to building a community sort of around my work. I feel it's quite important to do that, especially nowadays, especially with so much more uncertainty around. I feel like having a strong community of people to be able to share your work and your ideas and stuff with is quite important. And how would people feel about more streams? And off the back of that, how would people feel about streams? Sort of an idea of mine is to, so say I've got a day tomorrow of just I'm sat carving, just setting the camera up and just sort of leaving it on for a few hours of the day while I'm just sat working, and people can just sort of hop in and hop out as they please. So it's less sort of prescribed, and I suppose not formal, but there's less of an aspect of like production to it, where it's just me working, and you can join if you want. Hop in, hop out, and I'll just be here all day, sat carving. And certainly that's what I'll be doing with streams where I'm printing, because that's multiple hours of the day where I'm just sat in one place printing. It's tougher for me to do those types of streams at sort of 7 p.m. at night, because getting the paper out and setting up and stuff like that, and then I'm not finishing until sort of 11, 12 at night then, if I've got a whole stack of 60 prints. But maybe I can schedule something that's maybe a little easier for US people, maybe sort of 3, 4 p.m. UK time, which, what's that? So that might be a little bit easier. That's sort of the reason why I purchased this camera. So I've purchased a dedicated video camera as opposed to using a DSLR, because I was quite worried about burning out the lens and stuff, and this particular camera is sort of meant for that purpose. It's sort of one of the more widely used cameras for streaming, which means it's been sort of tested at running for 5 to sort of 9 hours a day. So you can see on the end of these little lines, I just take a little nick out there, just a little sort of triangle, and that protects, it does two things. It protects that little line, that little end of that tip, and it also feathers that edge off very slightly. It allows me to make that nice point without me sort of having to come up and around on an awkward angle and risk breaking the knife. And then obviously when you get to a corner, you knock out the corner, and so you knock out this corner, and that makes it then easier for you on the clearing stage. You're not trying to sort of push your chisel into a little corner there. The camera model, yes, it's a Panasonic HV770. I'll post a Panasonic store link in the chat. Here we go. I should really add that to the description, that so it shows my sort of gear I'm using. So I'm now using a good capture card. I've got a Razer Ripsaw HD capture card, and using a Rode, I can't remember what it's called now, Rode Pro something, like little clip-on mic, as opposed to a sort of destroying my laptop trying to force it to handle all the processing of the image and stuff, and my sort of GPU and CPU usage is a lot, touch wood, is a lot better this time round. There's not as much terrifying fan noise coming out, and we can do cool things like zoom right in on the areas I'm carving, especially if I'm carving something like hair or armour or something like that that's quite small and intricate. Having a camera that can really get in close would be a great benefit. But I'm running it all on the base automatic settings at the moment. The only thing I've done is sort of remove the display icons. So I'm going to have a bit more of a play around with it and see, because it's got the autofocus feature on at the moment, and it can only get in so far. But I've seen video tests and stuff where people can get in really, really close. Not that that's not good enough quality, but the more the more detail that I can show, the better, right? I'll keep moving out of frame. How are we doing for time? Cool, another 10 minutes or so and I'll finish up. Yeah, I've got to have a play around. So the audio and stuff's all handled within the capture card software, and there's a mixer that I need to have a play around with. I've just at the moment I've just got it plugged in and just capturing the audio from I'm capturing the audio from it and outputting it through. I've got a small output like dashboard on Streamlabs. So once I can sit down and sort of play around with it, I can sort of maybe add a bit more compression to it and see if I can bring the volume up a bit. It's also sort of right underneath my chin. Maybe, I don't know, if I had it clipped on the front of the camera. The camera's sort of, my head's sort of just here in front of the lens, so maybe I can sort of fashion something and test that out. But I'll have a play around with the mixing software and see what we can do. So if that microphone's there and I'm carving, what's that sound like? Does that sound a lot better? Or is it sort of sound distant because my head's down past the mic? I'll clip it back on my jumper now as it was. Yeah, that was better. Cool. So next time I'll sort of fashion. I'll speak a bit louder for now for the last few minutes, but for the next stream on Monday, I'll fashion some sort of small device to fix it to the front of the camera, and we'll try it like that. Cool. Yeah, good to know. I got a piece of blue tack or something in here. Maybe just use a bit of tape for now. I do apologise if these noises are... So, how is that? Probably even drop it lower, to be honest. We'll experiment. So, how is that? Is that better now? Yes, John. Yes, George. Sorry. I'll post both to Patreon and to Instagram. A live stream schedule. I'll post one each week to start with. For just the short time being, it will be Mondays and Wednesdays, as it has been previously, and then we'll start to incorporate more days if more days as we move through. But I hope this audio is better now. Sort of hanging the mic down in front of my face, but I'll make sure to mess around a little bit with the software and see if I can make some adjustments. I'm quite a mumbling talker anyway. Times will be 7 PM UK time to start with. When we move to the longer ones, it will probably be working around sort of mid to late afternoon UK times. Maybe I'll do some morning ones, so for anyone sort of staying up late can catch it. I don't want to be working too close to Dave's times, because I want to steal some of his viewers, really. If and when I can grow the stream more, become more consistent in what I'm doing, and give a better production quality, then hopefully more people will join. But yeah, so for the time being, it'll be 7 PM and on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I think probably from there we'll progress it through. Maybe do some Sunday streams, Saturdays or Sundays maybe. Definitely for the period of time that UK's in lockdown, because I'm not going anywhere. I can't. can't leave the house again. I'm just going to get this little area in here finished, and then we'll see what we've got. Is there another sort of question? Is there anything that people would like to see as sort of a regular feature of the channel? So Dave has his so Dave has his show and tells that he does, and I know everyone looks forward to those. I don't have a print collection. I don't quite have the resources to purchase prints. I think I actually own maybe 3 or 4 prints, and that's about it. But is there a sort of a regular feature that people would like to see, that we can sort of wrap the last sort of 10-15 minutes of the stream up, talking about maybe if there's specific subjects people would like me to like expand upon, or a certain method or technique that maybe I could speak about a bit, or just a type of get to know you Q&A sort of little session. I know, right, Ben? George's prints are lovely. They're amazing. Yeah, carving is probably the single easiest part of the entire process. For the simple reason that you can be very slow and methodical with your carving, and you can assess what you're doing in real time. Printing, you don't really have much of a choice but to just put the pigment on the block and just go for it, and sort of work it out as you go along, because everything's on a clock. Everything's drying and changing shape very slightly, and it's carving is obviously is very challenging. The work that I do is pales in comparison to even an apprentice carver in Japan. But carving is the easier part of the process. Exactly. Yeah, printing is. I size my own paper as well now, and every single step of the process, from sizing the paper to just putting a colour. If you have a large flat area and you're putting the colour there every time, then you're going to end up with a darker spot in your print. So, and it's just these tiny little aspects of it that you would just never think of, that once someone points it out to you and says to you, it sort of blows your mind. You're like, what? That's so simple. Why did I never think of that? But printing has so many of those small little variable things that can and will go wrong, that it is a challenge. And I was completely stuck. I feel like I'm just starting to sort of find my feet a little bit now. After I went out to visit Dave in January and just sat there for a week, picking the brains of the other printers and trying to make my own print and not embarrass myself. But for anyone really wanting to get good, I would say, just even if you visit Japan once and you spend an hour sat with a printer and you don't talk to them and you just watch them work, like we're able to do with Dave and his stream, that will make you an infinitely better craftsman. Sizing is intimidating, but it can be. There is room for error, slightly, in sizing. Printing, there's any mistake you make will show, whereas sizing, you can sort of, there is wiggle room. Yeah, I was very fortunate. I flew out the a few days before China locked down. It was just sort of coming into the media when I was there, and we were advised to wear masks and stuff on the plane back, and I thought, well, it's never gonna reach England, surely. It's never gonna get to the UK. I am lucky. I do feel very lucky, especially with how widespread we now know it was. Yeah, I'm very fortunate for that. But on a brighter, lighter note, we made some good progress today. We got the majority of this boat and the sort of shadow beneath done. I'll be continuing to work on this, excuse me, over the next couple of days. Should I have it finished by Friday, the stream will be me producing all the colour separations and then pasting them down. I'll go through the process. Maybe I'll capture some of that actually, and I'll sort of try and put it into a YouTube video. That's sort of something I feel would be pretty cool. And if not, then I'll be finishing this off and we will start on the colour separations together. I've really enjoyed being back. I missed it. I've been sort of a bit in a bit of a sort of creative rut the last few months. I've sort of had all this work that needed doing, and that was taking up all my mind, all my sort of focus. And with the sort of continued sort of uncertainty and stuff, I sort of didn't feel as though I could be entertaining, or not that I feel like I'm entertaining, but interesting on the stream. But I'm really excited about this moving forward, and let's get this Facebook group or Discord or whatever it ends up being set up, and let's keep streaming. Let's keep sharing stuff with each other. Let's have fun. We broke the viewership record today. We had 11 viewers at one point. And over the coming sort of weeks and months, I'm going to start adding some more cameras. I'm going to sort of get a side camera or like a face cam or something like that. And sort of create a few different setups around the studio, so that I can, if I've got a sort of, if I'm doing a longer stream and I'm going behind me to the workbench and stuff, then I can just sort of flick the camera over to that. But anyway, thank you very much for turning up and putting up with me for an hour and 10 minutes. And I will see you all on Friday, 7 PM UK. I'll send a direct message to everyone in Patreon, and I will post on Instagram. I don't know, do I actually have the link? Let me just check. Do I have the link to the YouTube channel on my Instagram profile? Yes. So for anyone looking to go through from Instagram, just click the link in my bio, or anyone from Patreon, I'll post a direct link to the stream in Patreon. Otherwise, it would just be FrancisHanga on YouTube. That's very kind, George. Thank you. I'll bear that in mind. And yeah, thanks again, guys, and see you next time. Take care.